Oh man, I hate to say it like this, but it appears as though ticker symbol VIRI may be setting up another bear trap team, and of another one which actually could be of epic proportion. So let's go ahead and go over the metrics of which how I'm coming up to that determination, right? Let's go ahead and go over those potentials for the next trading session now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a VIRI technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team, so first of all, let's go ahead and just start off with the ARQ indicators suggesting that the bulls are definitely in strength right now. 60% bulls over the bears at 40%. This is the ARQ DBSI indicator, which takes a metric of every single candle printed throughout the entire trading history of the asset in the time frame that you're looking at it as well, right? So it measures every single candle all the way, and it gives you relative strength. It gives you a relative strength valuation here in a percentage basis located right at the top right of your screen, right, team? So now let's go ahead and go over these conditions, right? We're speaking of a potential bear trap. Now, why are we talking about that, right? So honestly, we're going to get into bear trap territory as soon as we start stepping into the areas of about 240, right? So at the 4.618, which is the other target that we use as a potential retracement area. Notice here that the formation is building a rising wedge, which is a bearish formation all in all. Okay, so yet again, just like we called the bear trap down here, literally at we said 122. Right, so but we got the 123 and then faced, well, what was it? If you were following the ARCa Bulls channel here, then you would have known, and you would have been up at one point almost 100% to the upside based on our call down here. Okay, team. So let's go ahead and now look at the other potentials. Okay, so first of all, yes, it is a bearish formation, rising wedge. That would suggest that the downside is actually pretty substantial here, okay, team? You take a trend line from the top side of the triangle all the way to the bottom side of the triangle, and you apply it to the supposed area of breakout, right? Let's just say that it were somewhere around here, right? Just to extend the trend line. Well, let's just extend the trend line ever so slightly to the upside, right? And we would apply that here. Let's just suppose that we were going to break down here. All right, so that would take us to a target of about 87.20, right? Pretty nice for a short position if you were talking about shorting from 240. That is a massive gainer, right? So that is essentially what the bears are looking at right there, right, team? So now, if we are to pay attention very closely over what's happening here, you will see clearly that the bulls are in control and not the bears, okay? So if you are a bear, and if you are shorting ticker symbol VIRI, I would immediately exit position, cover position before you get destroyed here, okay, team? So you know how I trade. I am short biased and long biased, so I am ambidextrous like that, team. So I am able to identify both of the plays. Okay, team. First of all, inverted head and shoulders, right? So inverse head and shoulders right here. You have the left shoulder, right? You have the head and the right shoulder here. The price objective from this target is actually suggesting a top side of 370, of which can be acquired by taking a trend line from the top side of the neckline, right? So this is the neckline here, right, for the head and shoulders, and you take that trend line all the way to the bottom side where the head ends, right? After that, you apply that trend line to the top side of the right hand shoulder, and that gives you your psychological price objective of $3.70. Please remember this target here, because there are areas of high confluence within that zone. Okay, let's remember 370. Okay, team. So yes, that is essentially suggesting this formation here on the daily time frame, by the way, right? So which has naturally a little bit of a higher hit rate, right? In general, the formation itself is just a formation. It doesn't have any mathematical properties to it. But in this situation, we'll go ahead and use it just for the kicks, right? So anyway, team, let's go ahead and just take a fib level from the range high. So actually, you know what? Yeah, swing high to swing low of the range, right? So let's go ahead and take it just like this to right about there and see if we have anything rhyming within our zone, right? So in fact, we do. We have the 2.272 located right at about 358. That naturally gives us resistance range, right? So 358 to the area of about 371 or 370, right, where we suggested that would be the resistance that we're essentially facing here. Okay, so yeah, upon us touching the area of about 240, that would be a quick little pullback here back down to the area of 216. This would be bear trap. And then we would actually continue on to the upside to face first a pullback from 293 back down to the area of about 252 before a continuation onto the upside and then realizing the target of about 358. So it is very confluent that it is suggesting that here, because if you look historically, right, this is the candle right here, the last candle that we faced at 242, right? So now look historically speaking on the daily time frame, what do you have as resistance here? You have nothing. Okay, team. So yes, it would be a high probability here that we can get the price action to essentially slide onwards and upwards here. Okay, team. So that's what I'm saying here, except that the formation is suggesting a target beyond the one that I was suggesting, which was around 315 based on this top side of this candle here. Right, team. So in fact, there is a 315 to, let's see, about 331 gap. Okay, team, which is in line with a 2 fib as well. Could be a natural pullback zone for us to come validate the 1.618 to 293 before essentially realizing the price objective of the psychological target of the the inverse head and shoulders. So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here, because something of very critical importance is here. Okay, team, take a look at this now. All right, so this is, well, first of all, this is the volatility versus momentum backtest on a 5-day time frame, right? So this would be it here. Okay, so you can see clearly that we are facing resistance from the mean band of the Gaussian channel. Very important, very, very big. We are knocking at that door, and it's highly likely for us to combat it and succeed it. Okay, team. So now, what I wanted to point out here before we get into the statistics, please notice that the weekly time frame, we have officially broken upside of that mean band. I am signaling this as early as I can. Okay, this would be the essential signal here. Okay, we have broken upside of the mean band, and we have been fluctuating here all day, 211 to 216 or even 218, right, to validate that mean band. Right, so usually when we get a break into the mean band, a pretty explosive move to the upside tends to happen, right? Just like this here, we get a mean band test, upside, right? We get a breakout, breakout, and then a retest of the mean band, upside. Okay, team. So you can see that usually we tend to face a break to the upside, literally to break outside of the Gaussian band, and you can see here that we're nowhere near the outside here. Okay, team. Now, this is where it starts to get really interesting. Let's go ahead and pay attention here to the 5-day volatility versus momentum backtest. The criteria here is anytime that we have expanded into critical volatility, critical expansion, and started a contraction phase towards the downside, paired with stochastic momentum with an upside, that has led to actually throughout the entire trading history, only 5 iterations have happened, right? So that has given us a 100% hit rate. Of course, it's not going to be like that forever, team. It just so happens that we only have 5 tests and all of them have been perfect, right? Right. So, and it's over the span of about 50 days. It'll realize a 64.76% mean, right? The upside thrust. This is proof of work down here. I have calculated if you are familiar with statistics, right, the bell curve, 68% of the results, which is the center of the bell, are landing at 60.24%, right? So very close to the average mean itself. And we have an upper bound of the first standard deviation, which is the upper performers or the higher performers of the upper bound of the first standard deviation, which would be a move consistent of 125% to the upside. Okay, so now if we focus on that 125% to the upside, notice that 335 is coming in, right? 335 is just upside of the 1.618. Right. And also, let's go ahead and come back here. And now we have an area of resistance. So we said 335, which is very close to the mean. I'm sorry, to the 2 fib, which we said 329, which, by the way, is close to the top side of the gap, 330. OK, so all of that is rhyming. So now our natural area of resistance would be anywhere between 315 to 335, right? Let's go ahead and measure that. We're just going to go ahead and draw it here so that we make sure that we keep the receipts, right? It's 315 to the area of about 335, which is the statistical side of the 125% move to the upside. This is the zone that I would expect a pullback from to test the 1.618 at 293 before a continuation to the upside and essentially giving and realizing the entire bear trap play. Okay, team. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm sorry it took so long for me to explain it, but it's critical for me to explain it in that manner. Okay, several signals here within the RSI. This is the last part of the analysis. Okay, team. So this is the RSI right here. We're looking at the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame suggesting consolidation here. Notice that the bi-hourly time frame is at the support of the SMA 14 with an upside pivot. This is very likely to find that support before a continuation to the upside. Same situation here with the 4-hour time frame in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile. Highly likely for it to find that bounce from the SMA 14 and continue onwards and upwards. Notice here the 8-hour time frame as well. It's facing to the downside, but facing to the support of the SMA 14 before a bounce to the upside. And now as we move on to the daily time frame, please notice that we have an upside pivot on both the SMA 14 and the RSI signal itself. And also here in the 3-day time frame, we also have an upside pivot on the RSI signal. Slight consolidation though, okay, team? So everything is actually pointed upwards rather than downwards, right, team? So this is it's looking very promising for ticker symbol VIRI, and I am expecting a continuation to the upside based on statistics, based on psychological targets and breakouts, and also based on geometrics, okay, team? So everything is lining up perfectly, okay, team? So please consider, please consider not taking anything of which I am mentioning here as a form of any type of financial advice, team, okay? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool, okay, team? So if you have any questions or concerns, you know where to reach out to me, you know what to do, okay, team? But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.